Thank you for tuning in to Trending with Miss Trey. And if you know me, you know I am a Caribbean woman at heart. So today I have a dope interview with a reggae artist named Keznamdi. I'm excited to hear what has going on. I'm excited to talk to him. So we're going to go ahead and chime him right on in. Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me clearly?
Welcome to Trending with me. Yes, I can
Good,
hear you
good.
clearly. Welcome to Trending with Miss Trey. I am honored to have you on my platform and speak with you about what you have going on. Let's just go ahead and tap right in. Tell me about, growing
All
up
right.
in Jamaica, St. Andrews, Skyline Drive. Tell me about that experience
Yeah.
and how that was, growing up with Rasta parents and how that experience was growing up.
Um, it was a very unique experience, definitely growing up as a Rasta youth in Jamaica, especially in those times. Because in those times, Rasta wasn't like a trend like it is now. Wearing dreadlocks was really considered like, you know, um, almost filthy and dirty. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think growing up in a household in a time like that as some Rastas, you really got identity means, you know what I mean? And just being in a household where both of your parents are very, if you want to call it, revolutionary in the way them speak and the way they move, and always being around music as well. You know what I mean? It definitely shape your identity as a youth or grow up, you know what I mean? And it's not until now when you grow up you realize how privileged you were to be in a household where parents are very health conscious, um, very conscious on a whole of just conscious in its entirety, So yeah, it was a blessing thing, for grow up and having a family that so close knit, you know, growing up.
That's amazing because, reading into your story and reading into how you traveled the world and how you lived here and lived there and you've been a little bit of everywhere, and you cultivated to be this phenomenal artist that you are today. I
Yeah,
want to salute you for that, and like you say, having Rasta parents and having that intellect that they have was a huge part of who you are today as well. So
definitely.
you made a song at 5 years old. Like
Yes.
who does that? Mix of
Um,
color.
yeah, mix of color. Actually, um, growing up at a young age, we had a studio at our house, and really and truly that was very rare in those times. Like having a studio was a huge deal. Growing up, I thought that everybody had a studio in their home. I thought it was a normal thing. I thought everybody had studios. I thought that everybody's parents sing, and you know what I mean. We did really genuinely think that, and it's not until we grew up we realize again how unique that experience was, And so my mom was working on a children's album at the time called "Save the World," which is probably one of her most prominent work out there and most renowned work, because that album was kind of used nationwide, like for all of the elementary schools. It was a soundtrack for many schools. Like it was the motto. There was one song on the album called "Play and Learn Together," and that was like a big motto for like a lot of the primary schools in Jamaica. So, obviously, my mom was working on a Save the World children's album at the time, and a lot of her kids were on the album, and I was the youngest of children. And me, I say, "Oh, you feel a voice album, and you have to voice me too," because it was really my sisters at the time. I was really young, I was 5 years old, and I just remember being in the studio and my mother holding up crayons because it was a song talking about mixing colors, and my song never made the album at the end of it, but that was my earliest professional setting in the recording studio.
That's amazing. Like that's why I say that music is you, and you grew up around it. Your parents were in a reggae band. You were around it. Studio was in the house, which is that was not norm for most, but it was norm for you. So let's just jump right into it. Your new project.
Yeah.
Bloodline.
Bloodline.
You have two dope artists, two dope feature artists on
Yeah,
your project.
yeah.
Chronics. How did you link up with Chronics? Chronics is dope. How did you end up linking up with Chronics?
Well, chronics no. Well, from I think there was this term that was given to a bunch of youths coming out of Jamaica called reggae revival,
Mhm.
and it was a bunch of youths who were just kind of on the same wavelength, you know, making conscious music. Every generation, there's a reggae revival. You know what I mean? Every generation, because it's a new set of youths that are enlightened and trying to bring that enlightenment and share that with the world. So just because we were doing the same kind of music and on a similar mission in terms of putting out positive works, somehow the whole we link up, which is Kabaka Pyramid, Jesse Royal, Chronics, and the list goes on, Kelisa, you know what I mean? And we would always like perform around a bunch of like these small acoustic venues, and we get to have a friendship, and we link up now and it's like minds joining up. So one day I did call Chronics for come over and sing a demo for a song because I wanted. So Victory, we had like three verses, and then I kind of like penned out a little bit of the chorus, but the chorus was really empty, and I wanted Jackie to sing the chorus.
That's big.
And so I called Chronix and cause him was the only real singer friend, brethren, what me did have at the time I could actually really sing. So I say, yo, Chronix, we need you for forward over to the studio and sing the demo you want demo for Cure. And him forward over within like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Him forward over, and we pen it up, we put the melodies. He put his greatness on it as well. He took the chorus to a whole nother level where I never even imagined it. And yeah, the harmonies, it was like in like 30 minutes we had a finished song, a finished record that was like, wow, this we both knew that that was a special record leaving that day. And I remember him leaving the studio and him saying, yo, if Cure not sing it, leave my voice on it. And Jack Cure never worked out. It never the path never turned that way. And so we left his voice on it. And I remember him calling me back. When I called him, I tell him, say, yo, it look like I left your voice. Him did want to come back to the studio to actually voice it over properly. And I
Right.
said, no man, this is too special, bro. This is a demo. This. So actually, what you're hearing right now is actually a demo that we recorded in the studio.
Wow.
So yeah,
I
yes,
love
that's
Victory. It's big, but it's powerful. And the two of y'all merged that your voices together and made it, a really dope track. And
yeah,
it's doing numbers. People are, singing it. I like it. So keep doing what you're doing. That's a huge record. And your other song with Tory Lane's City Lock, you
yeah.
actually just released the visuals for that, correct? In LA.
Correct. And New York, LA, and New York. Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
big. So you just
definitely.
took over the city and did your video, huh? In,
Yeah,
in
and
the middle of COVID.
immediately COVID. Yeah, that was a special record, and it really, you know, the voice within you and the power within you is like you really have to believe in it. Because I remember recording that song and writing Keznamdi featuring Tory Lanez in the session file. Like
Wow.
not thinking, not even fathoming that that's even a possibility. You know what I mean? And um, basically, I was doing a lot of recording in LA at the time, and I linked up with Sean Kingston's brother. His name is Terry, and Tory Lanez used to be signed to Sean Kingston's label. So
Hmm.
that's how the connect was made. And Terry played the song for him, and him did love the record, and he must say, "Yo, we can get Tory Lanez on it." I'm never really too take him serious. And it happened. And I remember waiting in we recorded it in Miami, and I remember sitting in the penthouse. I mean, in the parking lot before going up to his house for like damn near like 2 hours. I actually finished the beat in the car, the chorus part, because he was taking so long,
Wow.
and I thought that he wasn't going to come out. And we went up to his house, and we sat there, and we, played him the records, and we ended up like just talking for like almost like 3 hours at his house, just about the industry, just about everything, and we never even recorded the song that day. And then him say, "Yo, forward to the studio tomorrow," and I in my mind, me I say, I know that play. That's like him telling me that we ain't gonna
Yeah.
record this. So I was like, all right, and then that's when I came back to the house the next day, and then it wasn't no way to. We came up in 15 minutes, and he recorded the song again in like 20 minutes, and we had the record. And we had that record for like
Wow.
2 years before actually releasing it. Couple weeks.
Really?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should have sat on that.
Yo, when you just know you have something special where you want to make sure, say, when it releasing at the right form, And at the time, I was in no situation to record a record that massive. I mean, to release a
Right.
record that massive, yeah. So yeah.
But that's huge that you were put it out there in the atmosphere and it came back and it's bigger than you ever expected. And that's just how you have to speak what you want and it comes to you.
Definitely.
So that's huge, that's huge, that's huge. So tell me a little bit about who are your influences because I get no disrespect, but I get a little Marley vibe from you.
Yeah, man.
The Marley
Definitely the Marlies.
family.
The,
Like it's so that's what I feel when I hear you because like I really, to be honest, I haven't listened to you and didn't know I was listening to you. If that makes sense. Because I
def,
was like, I know when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, I know his music. Like where have I been? But I just
Definitely.
didn't connect the dots. But I've been listening to you.
Yeah. The Marlies, from Bob Marley, go all the way down to the grandkids. Is like from to Joe Mercer them to Skip Marley to obviously Damian Marley, Stephen Marley. From the production standpoint, like these are massive influences on my music. Like these were artists that, as a young Rasta youth, I could see myself in them because I never really have nobody up to look up to as an artist. Like, where's my voice? And
Hmm.
at that time, Damian Marley was dropping like album. I think his halfway through album, and it was just like I remember being in high school listening to that 24/7 and saying to myself, say, yo, one day me I gonna do this for real. And yeah, they play that in music or in any kind of art, you know, it always starts out with something that you like and you see and you say, yo, you're inspired to do something like that. You know what I mean? And I think, but at the end of the day, I feel like if you really listen to my music, like I think being a youth of fair skin with dreadlocks and with the frequency of my voice, it's easy to say, even if I didn't, even if I had a deep voice or whatever it is, it's easy to say, yo, you look like a Marley. You know what I mean? Light skin, dreadlocks, blah blah blah. You know that storyline. Like even before I
Yeah,
was an
yeah.
artist, people would think, I'm the Marleys. But I think if you really listen to my music and like you really like from my first set of songs to my album now, like you can really hear my voice and you can hear the difference and you really get to understand. So yeah, you can hear the influences, but you can actually
Right.
hear the depth of me now. I think that's what Bloodline represented for me. Was like all my music before this album was very experimental. It was like trial and error, and it wasn't really intentional. But this album that I dropped, it was like, what am I bringing to the table? What do I bring to this this plane of art, this platform of artistic expression? What do I bring to the table? And that's where I really went deep and spent a lot of hours in the studio and really carving out what is my song. Yeah,
And I salute you for doing that because, like you said, you had to find your voice, and finding your voice with made you have Bloodline, which is this big project that has dope tracks on it. And like I say, I salute you because I've listened to it from beginning to end, and I'm just like, wow. You can see, like you say, you can see the transition of like you finding your voice and your niche and who you are as an artist, and that's really huge because a lot of people get lost in their influences and don't find their voice. if that makes sense.
Definitely.
So it does you like you said, you can tell the difference. And I mean it's not a bad difference, like it was like, oh he wasn't good
Yeah,
then, now he's
yeah,
good.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just like you can tell the growth in your voice and your
Definitely.
path as an artist.
Yeah, man. I definitely
So
think
I
like touring had a lot to do with it too. I feel like touring really brought up my musicianship, and that was another goal for really showcase that in our music, like for sure, music, like we can't forget, say is music, like a lot of young aspiring musicians or artists are like trying to bypass that. You know what I mean? There's a lot that are not doing it too, but there's also a lot that are trying to skip that the easy route and just like kind of like imitate music than actually doing it. And I think being on tour and like playing my guitar so much and singing night after night really like show me the discipline of music, and we really wanted to showcase that in the album.
yes, definitely. Being that we're in this COVID world, I know you probably miss performing. So how are you actually touching your audience and staying connected aside from visuals, of course, and dropping your project? How are you staying connected? Because I know I want to see you perform. So I'm waiting on the day you say you have a performance. But how are you still connecting with them during this COVID period?
um well, at the end of the day, performing is just memories. Like you're creating memories with the people that listen to your music, and that is a very profound feeling, and it makes everything worth it. Like when you go and perform and somebody forward after the show and say, yo, Kez, I don't think you understand how much your music take me through these hard times. And those little simple moments or little comments on Instagram DMs, every comment, every like, these are the small moments that keep gas in your vehicle. You know what I mean? When times get hard as an independent artist, because we're not signed. Like all of this music, all of this touring that we're doing, every vision, everything, we're doing it in-house with our own team, with no big massive budget, just doing what we're doing, just following our instincts basically. And to answer your question, is that music touring is memories, but your real legacy is your work and the music that you release.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And really and truly, any artist that's listening to this interview right now, you it's all about the work and the time that you spend in that recording booth. And that's really a calling, because at the end of the day, yeah, you can tour, but at the end of the day, it's that track, that 3 minutes and 30 seconds track, when you're not around that person, that is going to lessen the density and the tension in the air. Like when I think about this, when you go to a party, most especially like West Indian parties, is mostly sufferers in the party, party where people like struggling in. And when you
mm-hmm.
and when you see them and you're playing the music and you see the joy and the happiness and the relief of tension that music can do, is like it's almost like magic. You know what I mean? And so when you ask me how do you connect with the audience, the only thing that I know how to do is give them more music and give them more visuals and just give them more art that can really, as I said, lessen the density. I feel like life is very dense without music, especially this world that we live in. Remember, we live in the human struggle. That means that whether you're rich or poor, this experience on earth is the human struggle. So that means that you cannot exist in a human body without a struggle, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
confidence, whether it's money, whether it's your emotion, whatever it is, it's a huge struggle. And the only thing that lessens the density of that struggle is music. Or not the only thing, but one of the most powerful things. That's why nothing cannot exist without music. Any advertisement, any movie, any party, any place you go. If you build a car, you have to build a radio in it, because nobody's gonna buy a car without a radio in it. You know what I mean? So music is definitely the most powerful force on earth, I believe, and I think it can change the world. And a song can do that, a melody can do that, and that's how we connect with the fans. At the end of the day, we cage up, we lock up, um, we're very restricted. Depression is at an all-time high right now. Um, I think as much as everybody want to play tough, everybody's feeling it because this is the first time in our life as humans where we're so impacted on a global level where we can't even set a plan for next week. Cause if we say, yo, we're gonna go somewhere next week, by tomorrow a new law say, hey, you have to, in Jamaica right now there's a ban. You cannot leave your house after 12 midday. Like you cannot leave your house after 12 midday. So you're locked in the house. And we're talking about people who don't have salaries. We're talking about people who live day to day based on their work that them put in. So when somebody reach at them yard and then put in them headphones, your world change, your whole reality change for those 15-20 minutes that you're listening to music. So I think I owe it to the people where, all we can do is just one thing I know, I've been in the studio and I've been working a lot and have a lot of new, really nice records that I cannot wait to share. But obviously we just dropped this album, so we kind of just go and push the visual representation of it because we have tons of videos backed up right now that we're trying to drop. You know what I mean? And just figure out how we're gonna do this because we were supposed to drop it last year, but I didn't want to drop it within. It was just a very noisy time, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody was telling me you need to drop this, the world needs this. But I just felt that if I dropped it at that time, like if I dropped City Lock video this time, the same time which when I had it,
Yeah.
it would have just been one of those things that just flew over, and I didn't want to act out of desperation. And I wanted to feel what living with COVID feel like first before we make any
Right.
decision. I know we know what it feel like, and here we go. We dropped the City Lock video. It's doing crazy numbers. We already have a million on the official audio, and we have millions of streams on Spotify. And it's just like the reception is like this is my quickest. You know, it's not good to associate your journey and your progression with numbers because it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's it's, it's a it's an endless game. But at the end of the day, recognition is important. And we recognize that there's growth. I remember when I used to drop a video and we only used to get 10 views, you know, and that was the world to me. 10 views, like yo, remember my call T, my brother, I say yo, T, we just drop it and we have yo a 20 views now, bro. And no, so progression, so we give thanks. I went on a thank
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing, and that's so true what you said. Like, music helps people get through tough times, happy times, whatever times that they may be going through. So without music, um, I don't know where people would be at. Because I can say for me, if I'm having a bad day or I just need my spirits to be lifted, I immediately turn on some music, turn on some reggae, turn on some soca, turn on some dance hall, something to lift that energy back up. Because
magic,
I know for me, the little island girl that in my head, I am a culture of Caribbean culture. So, like everything about the Caribbean culture makes me feel better, you know, and it's whether
def-
it's art, whether it's food. I'm just like, okay, if I my energy, that's what I do. So I salute you for that, and I appreciate giving us the dope music that we can listen to and contact. I mean, and touch and be aware of and make our day better and lift our spirits because City Lock and Victory are huge records that whatever day you're having, it's a dope record to turn on. So I
definitely.
definitely appreciate that.
Yeah,
But
man.
I am gonna put you on the spot before I let you go. I put
Okay.
everybody on the spot when they come to training with Miss Trey.
All right.
So as you know, you have a big album right now. You have two dope records that you're pushing right now. So let us hear one of your tracks, just a snippet of something, whether it's a freestyle, whether it's Victor, whether it's City Lock, whatever you want to do, and let us just hear a little bit and let the fans know what you have. Because I know you have the talent, but let them know what you got.
First, it was the slave ships, now it's the Matrix, where we mind locked up in them cages and caught up in them technological spaces, taking selfies of our faces. While we sell we life like Craigslist, it might hurt when I say this, but the truth we have to face it. So upload this to your playlist. Cause the radio's not gonna play this. And the Pope him not gonna ban this. Uncle Sam him not gonna like this. Rasta sing Ku Klux Klan like Atlantis. And all political bandits with false promise, lies and antics. Listen keenly to my synopsis. Corruption flood the streets like when Japan had tsunamis. Well, I stop it right there. That's something new. You know what I mean? But you know, culture.
Ooh, so I got an exclusive? Is that an
Exclusive.
exclusive?
That's gonna be, we're gonna be releasing that record in like a month, in a couple weeks. We're gearing up that's the next release. So you get that exclusive.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
you gotta come back to Trending with Miss Trey so you can drop the new
All
record.
right.
You got to
Let's
come
do
back.
it. Let's do it for real. Where you based?
So before I let you go, I'm in Miami.
Miami. So next time I'm in Miami, I do a lot of my mixing. I mix at Circle House in Miami. So we do a lot of mixing in Miami.
That's
So
a BB's family. So you just have to let me know.
so next time we pull up there, then we do an in-studio interview for real. You know what I mean?
Yes,
An in-person,
definitely,
COVID-free interview. Yeah.
So before I let you go ahead and let the people know if you have anything that you want to say, or you want to drop any new exclusives. I know I'm getting back exclusives, so we good on that. But if there's anything you want to say and how they connect with you and what you have coming up.
Well, my name is Keznamdi. You know, I'm an aspiring musician who try to create art from my heart and soul. So that way, when we do it in that way, people can relate to it. Because if I feel something, that means it's a universal feeling, because human feelings is universal. So go check out the music. It comes from the heart. My name is Keznamdi. It's on every platform that you choose. Whichever one you want to choose, just type in my name, Keznamdi. We have enough music on the way, and stay up during these crazy times. It's a tough time right now, and you're definitely, every single human being is feeling this. So just go and enjoy yourself and take the time to reflect and listen to some music, because it's as we know, as we said in our interview, music is very magical, you know, and just go and keep it hopeful.
Thank you so much. I am honored to have you on my platform, Trending with Miss Trey. Definitely come back and let us know if you have anything that's coming about, and we definitely will see you soon.
Trending with Miss Trey. This is Keznamdi, yeah. My gosh, hopeful. Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Who come feel lock down your city like me name Tupac and Biggie. Me left a mark in a history like how your girl get a icky in a the club with a feeling. My gosh, she fat and she pretty. That piece of wine that she give me, all that she must be a trini. Me need the highest I call if you see my person, me ready. Me need a one baby mommy if you give me 10 when me ready. I'm not afraid of nobody, cause us a firm and we steady. And we no beg not a penny, we pocket fat and it heavy. We get respect from the Crips, respect from the Bloods, love from the chicks and respect from the thugs. Man a lion and can't take big man pick up. Excess amount of gun and it a bust in a